Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from our Office of the Administrator. It is the City Administrator Chad Brecklin. Chad, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jeremy. How about you?
I am getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. Summer is here. I'm just ready. I know it's still springtime, but with all the cold and weird weather we've had for the spring so far, I'm just ready to move forward. And there's so much excitement this time of year with things happening. Not to mention, there's also some things that come with springtime, like construction, Chad, and that's where we're going to start today's conversation. But it is a project we've been talking about, and it's finally here, and that has to do with the Lacey Road construction, basically from Seminole to Fitch-Rona Road. So we're gearing up for that, Chad. A little perspective as far as what are we going to see here with the two phases.
Yeah, so that project, as you mentioned, we've been talking about for a while, shall we say, and it is here. The road closures will begin this week, the week of May 15th, if they haven't already done so by the time this segment is being viewed by our viewers. The project is kicked off actually a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, where some of the initial utility and some brush clearing was taking place. And then, as I mentioned, barricades have now gone up. Road closures will be taking place this week, and that project is underway. So you'll see it done in 2 phases. The first phase, or one of the phases, will be the reconstruction of the road itself west of Seminole Highway back towards Fitch-Rona Road. That will include adding the intersection with Commerce Park Drive into Lacey Road. So you'll see a nice new intersection there. And then the second part of this project is the roundabout that will be installed at Lacey Road and Seminole Highway. And that is tentatively planned to begin right when school ends, and ideally is wrapped up before school begins in the fall. So that you'll see quite a bit of activity there during the summer months, both between the roundabout project and then the road reconstruction back to the west.
Yeah, and they've already they pre-started with some utility work that we've seen the last couple of weeks, some tree clearing, and we saw protection of trees as well that are out there. So a lot of activity happening, and we'll keep you up to date with updates as that project goes on, certainly. We do have other road construction. I urge you to go to our website, fitchfordwi.gov. Just check on that. We're not going to pick Chad's brain on all of those projects today, but there is a lot happening as far as road construction goes, so we'll keep you updated on the daily show. You, my friend, though, have been dealing with the capital improvement plan, and we're getting closer here to the mayor's, our new mayor's first proposed CIP coming up here. But what are some next steps here as we do see our CIP coming out?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeremy, this would be Mayor Arata Frada's first capital improvement plan as mayor. Obviously, she's very familiar with the capital improvement plan over the years, having served as an alder for, I think, 8 years before being elected mayor. However, obviously, as mayor, the capital improvement and operating budgets are ultimately rolled out by the mayor. And the Mayor Arata Frada has been meeting with our finance director, Misty Dodge, and I for a couple of weeks now. And we have additional meetings scheduled to continue to go over the capital improvement plan and work with her to identify the projects and priorities and available funding. And we'll look to see the mayor's plan being released, I believe, the first week of June or so to the public for comment.
Yeah, we'll keep up to date on that. And there will be a public hearing as well, where you get to kind of listen. The department heads kind of present their information to finance, which gets you a good opportunity to really, understand what's happening and direction.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always an opportunity for folks to comment publicly in a few different avenues. Obviously, there's typically 2 public hearings. One in June, and then one the night of the actual adoption of the capital improvement plan, which will be the second council meeting in July, which I think is about the 25th or so. And then, of course, for those that may not be able to come to one of the public hearings, you're more than welcome to send an email to your alder and or the alders and mayor collectively demonstrating your opinions, support or otherwise for any particular project or initiative that might be included in the capital improvement plan.
Yeah, good to know. And you'll find all of those meetings right here on Fact TV and, of course, through our website for more information and see that CIP plan when it's out there. Turning our attention to shared revenue, you may have heard of this. We're looking for an update from you, but there may be some changes coming to how shared revenue works with municipalities. And you're happy to share that and break it down for us.
Yes, so folks may be familiar with a proposal to increase shared revenue, which is really the state aid that is provided to counties, cities, towns, and villages. And there's been a couple of proposals. Governor Evers introduced a proposal, or at least a way in which funding could be increased a couple of months ago or so. And the GOP legislature has also, within the last couple of weeks, introduced their own proposal. As you could imagine, those proposals have a bit of difference to them, both in dollar amount and some of the conditions associated with those proposals. But at the end of the day, as it currently stands, the GOP proposal would offer an additional $500,000 in shared revenue to the city of Fitchburg, which we certainly would appreciate an increase in our shared revenue. That program, Jeremy, has not changed for the better part of more than 20 years. And when you look at the amount of shared revenue we received in 2014 in 2023 dollars, it's actually less money when you account for inflation and other sort of factors in play. So this is definitely a long overdue change. There's some identification that the aid moving forward will be tied to a portion of the state sales tax, which will hopefully make this funding more sustainable and also allow for more regular increases than what we've had, which is i.e. nothing in about the last 20 or more years of an increase. So a lot is still happening on this front. I know there's a lot of negotiations going back and forth between the legislature and the governor's office, and perhaps this week we'll see what the fruit of those negotiations ends up to bear when a potential updated bill is introduced. So I would encourage folks to contact their local legislatures on that. Funding for local government is extremely difficult right now because our only source of revenue besides state aid and revenue is property taxes. And we recognize that property taxes are not inexpensive. It can be very burdensome on property owners when their tax bills show up. And unfortunately, in order to remain competitive in our workforce and to complete all of the projects and core services that we provide, the cost of those services has gone up. So we certainly are appreciative of any opportunity to increase the funding that might be coming our way that doesn't rely on our property taxpayers.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the breakdown, Chad. Definitely important stuff there. And it might not seem like a lot when you think of government budgets and the things we talk about, but anything that we can do to put forth to the projects and different stuff that we work on each and every day here for the city of Fitchburg as employees, we want to do. So we'll check back in with you on that as well when there are, if changes or whatever comes out of said legislator. We do wrap up here in just a quick bit of time. I didn't leave you a lot here, but recognition weeks in May is so important for any, and we've highlighted these as they've gone on throughout the weeks, but Police Week going on, you had Public Service Week, you had the Older Americans Month, and also EMS Week. A lot of things going on. As a city administrator and former police chief, how important it is to recognize the different assets of government.
Well, it's always important to recognize folks for the hard work and contributions they make, Jeremy. And if there's one thing I've noticed in the 20 plus years I've served with the city of Fitchburg, it's that our employees are extremely dedicated and committed to providing a high level of service to our community. And they oftentimes over-deliver on what could be reasonably expected for them to do in any given situation. So we're very fortunate to have such a great crew of employees throughout the city, whether it is in our police department or senior center as it stands, with the two most current employee recognitions or work groups taking place right now, or, again, throughout all of our multiple departments. We've got a great team, and we're all in it together, and we are all successful based upon the contributions of each and every one of us. And I appreciate the work that everyone does.
Go Team Fitchburg. That's what I always say on the show. Team Fitchburg, when we have job openings here, I'm like, you can come join Team Fitchburg. We're an awesome team. So appreciate the work, kind words there, Chad, and always great to catch up with you. We'll check back in with you next month.
Sounds good. Thank you.